What a day this has been, folks. Thank you for joining me once again on a lovely Thursday afternoon. We're going to hop right into it. We're going to cover everything from Spider-Verse to what's going to happen next in the Terror Drome. Folks, you are watching Black Genghis Live. Welcome, everyone. I am KJ, your host, aka Black Genghis, and it's going to be a good one, folks. I am a humongous Batman fan, as you can tell. And today we saw the Alfred Pennyworth and Batmobile go for pre-order, as well as the Amazon exclusive glow in the dark Batmobile. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. We're also going to be talking about Alien Romulus, which is, I think, going to be a very intense movie. There are also one of my favorite How to Reboot series that's going on, and just basically shenanigans. I don't know how else to put it except we're gonna have shenanigans. Let's go ahead and holler at the chat. Shout out to my people over at 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐤. Travis, what's up, man? Yes, it's gonna bring in that fire. What's up? Awesome unicorn goat. I'd love to see it, Jason. Trey, what's up, man? Hello. Gun Bunny, man, thank you very much. I am going to touch on it, but since you're here joining us, let me go ahead and just say I'm going to be really excited about this. We are going to be having Welcome to the Terror Drome once again, featuring a good friend of the channel over at 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐤 and over here at Black Genghis, Gun Bunny Customs, our very first guest for the relaunch of Terror Drome. I cannot wait, and I am thrilled. I have been a fan of Gun Bunny's ever since finding his photos and his customs and his paint jobs over on Instagram. I was able to have him featured on the community spotlight last week. And yeah, we just kept the conversation going. And yeah, man, we brought him into the Terror Drome. So that is going to launch next Thursday, August 22nd, once again at 5 p.m. 5 just feels right, doesn't it? But anyway, it's going to be next Thursday, August 22nd, 5 p.m. And that will be simulcast here on Black Genghis as well as Tony Fig's YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a great time. We're going to touch on that. And plus, before we wrap up, I'm going to talk about why we created Terror Drome in the first place and some of the things that we want to accomplish with what's essentially our season 2. Really more like season 4. But anyway, without a moment to lose, we need to talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man across the universe. Really quick, I got to give a shout out to Poc Photos. What's up, man? Oh, Jason, thank you so much. I've been goated. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. The honor is ours, Gun Bunny. It really is. So let's talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. One of my favorite films. I fell head over heels with it. This was probably the first time in a long time that I legit finished watching a movie, left the theater, bought another ticket, and went back in. I had not done that since X2 back in 2003. Like legit. Like I am head over heels with this movie. So let's talk about the new wave of Marvel Legends figures. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on this. We have figures from Into the Spider-Verse as well as Across the Spider-Verse. None from the third movie yet. And we're seeing some different looks because a lot of characters tend to change appearance because they're from different dimensions or they're just under different lighting, different color schemes. So they're kind of playing with that with Marvel Legends. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. I think that this is a strong wave for what it is. Marvel Legends, we're talking about $24.99. I still feel like $19.99 is the right price point for these figures, but what do I know? Shout out to the homie Tony's Figs. What's up, man? Terror Drome is up in this bitch. It's going to be great. And yeah, shout out to Gun Bunny turning a Lightyear vehicle into a shark. That's pretty awesome. Ronnie Trickshot, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Black Genghis Live. This wave of figures is a strong wave. There is no denying that. The only thing is, when it comes to Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, some of my favorite films, I tend to take it up a notch. I think premium better serves the animation style, the hyper dynamic style that those films have. And I think they're underserved by the Hasbro figures. I think in this case, even at $24.99, I don't think you're getting your money's worth. And I'm going to make the argument that you should actually be going for imports and premiums. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2099, Miguel. We have Peter Parker, the original Chris Pine Peter Parker. We have Spider-Man India, Puppeteer Prabhakar. I'm probably saying that wrong. We also have Gwen Stacy with the little hologram assistant that 2099 uses. We have a different look for Spider-Punk, sort of like an alternate purple look. And we have Miles G. Morales, aka the Prowler, the new Prowler. And I'm going to start things off with this Spider-Punk because it's interesting. The first Spider-Punk we got did not come with that unmasked head. I took matters into my own hands, as you'll see later, but it was still a strong figure. People bought it. It was the breakout character from that movie. I straight up called it. And you couldn't get that Spider-Punk without forking over 50, 60, 70 bucks, even for Marvel Legends. It was just a really fun time. And so now we have this alternate Purple Rain. I call it the Purple Rain Spider-Punk. Shout out to anyone that can make a Prince custom head for this. But it comes with 2 head sculpts, which is very generous of the Hasbro team because usually they don't do that, especially with a head sculpt that large, a lot of plastic. And it comes with a purple guitar. Prince would be very proud. Still gets a lot of great poses, very lanky figures that matches the animation style of the Spider-Verse films. But for $24.99, you can't go wrong. Like, this is still a pretty good figure, even if you can't get the original Spider-Punk, even for whatever reason they give you the original head sculpt, but they're not going to reissue that for Spider-Punk. I think they should, especially for the 3rd Spider-Verse film, whenever that comes out, whether it's next year or 2026. But, it's as fun as the other Marvel Legends Spider-Punk was. I still enjoy that figure a lot, and I ended up getting a custom head sculpt from Beltran Brothers to really up it a notch. So that Spider-Punk figure combined with this unmasked Beltran Brothers sculpt was one of my top 10 figures of last year. I loved it very much. Even got one and a matching head sculpt for a friend who was really big onto this character from the movie. I really wish Hasbro had just thrown in that head sculpt with the first figure. There was no reason for them not to, as we've seen that this other Spider-Punk figure came with 2 head sculpts. So they just got to stop cutting corners. I don't know why they do that. They play these games. They got to cut that out. But I was a really big fan of this custom head sculpt. Not cheap. You can still go to Beltran Brothers, Adrian Fred Beltran on Instagram. And you can also go to the Beltran Brothers and you can still get this head sculpt, I think, on eBay. But I want to talk about the SH Figure Arts Spider-Punk as well. I really feel like this is the one to get. I think if you can't get that Marvel Legends Spider-Punk is going to cost as much as this SHF Spider-Punk. So once again, if Hasbro won't give you what you need, and they won't give you what you deserve, frankly, you're going to have to go elsewhere. And I think SHF, I think they got you covered. It's a really fun figure. You won't get that background, but you can make do with extreme sets. Still has the original color scheme for that guitar. I'm not a fan of this head sculpt. I'm glad that at least Bandai, Tamashii Nations, SHF Figure Arts, they give you an unmasked head sculpt with their figure. But I don't know. I mean, shout out to Daniel Kaluuya. Like, this dude is definitely representing for the Melanated Brothers. That's for real. I feel like the face sculpt doesn't quite match the animation style from the movie. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me. So here's a side by side. And I don't know. For my money, I feel like the Beltran sculpt is just does a better job of matching what was going on in the film, right? I'll still take these over the Hasbro sculpt. So let's go ahead and take a look to see if I can still find that. Yeah, there it is. So I don't have a close-up for you all. But, I mean, goodness, I feel like even the Hasbro sculpt does a better job than SHF, which is rare for me to say. I'm probably still going to get this SHF Spider-Punk. I feel like I like the detail more. I like the attitudes. Like just even those palm hands, like the palms that he shows Miles Morales. That was a really touching moment, and it was like nonverbal, just saying like, if you want to overcharge this thing, like he was telling them how to get free. That's pretty cool. And those are the little touches that when you go import or premium, those figures will still have that. And when Hasbro doesn't give us those options, we can't recreate those things. So just that set of hands alone, like for me, makes it worth getting. Shout out to Sabir Del Norte. Thanks for joining us, man. Once again, I think SHF, I already have Spider-Gwen. I have Spider-Man 2099. I'm going to have to pay the iron price to get that Miles Morales, but it'll be worth it to have it in my collection. And you can't argue with the price because you get what you pay for. That being said, I can't fault anyone who would rather spend $24.99 to get the new wave of the Marvel Legends Spider-Punk than this. If you like having the effects, extra hands, extra heads, and stands and whatnot, I'm already collecting SHF Spider-Verse, so I'm all in on that. So I don't blame y'all. I don't blame you guys for going Hasbro, Mattel, McFarlane. That stuff for what it is. It can also be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and take a look really quick with our friends over at eBay. So here is Marvel Legends Spider-Punks. $40, not bad. Let's see what they're selling for really quick. So this is Spider-Punk. $40. $40 tends to be it. And frankly, that's still going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than what I am going to pay for SHF. $90. Maybe I'll wait for a sale. You can get it unpainted if you want to try your luck. $18 to get that Beltran sculpt again. That is I forget who does the actual sculpt. That's not cool. People are buying the pre-sale. Just get that from Pulse. Don't spend $40 on that. That's not cool. People buying lots. Lots is a good way to do it as well. And once again, let me go ahead and show you that Miles Morales. That Miles is, it's going to be up there. You can buy knockoffs. And frankly, shit, man, I may end up getting the knockoffs anyway. If they're only spending $25, I mean, how bad can it be? I do love SHF. And I think all of the OG official figures are just gone. So I may just have to do this knockoff thing that everyone else is doing. Shout out to whoever got that lot. That is a great price to get all those for $130. Shout out to Revoltech. And yeah, I don't want to pay $80-$90 on eBay. If I'm going to get a knockoff, I might as well just get the knockoff and just call it that. Yeah, people are getting the knockoffs. I can live with a knockoff, man. I'm not better than a knockoff. I just need something for that SHF. Let's go ahead and take it back to the slides. So now let's talk about this Marvel Legends Pavitr Prabhakar. Hey, 80s Toy Boy, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Once again, $24.99. Can't laugh at the price. The figure does what you want it to do. It has great articulation. That's a good head sculpt. And they still give you the unmasked. So they're already learning from the first wave. That's like, please give us the masked, give us the unmasked. This should have been wave 1. Spider-Man India, great figure. You can get some really good poses with this. But once again, going back with SHF Figure Arts, Bandai, I feel like the accessories are better. The articulation's better. So if you're taking photos, dioramas, and you want to take it up to that next level, I think you should go Bandai. I think you're going to get more rewarded for that. Yes, you can spend $24.99. Hell, you can probably get that wave on sale on Target, Amazon, wait for coupons. Labor Day is coming up. You might be able to save some money instead of going premium. But the personality that's in these figures, especially when you combine them all, whether it's SH Figure Arts, we'll talk a little bit about Mofex and Sentinel coming up in a bit. You can just do more. And for me, like I said, I love the Spider-Verse films. I want to do more. I have some of the Marvel Legends figures, but they just wasn't doing enough. The lack of butterfly joints, the lack of hands, the lack of heads, that kind of stuff. So I think when you want to talk about expressiveness, when you want to talk about range, just look at the things you can do with that Bengal spider web. and everything else. I think for me, SHF is the way to go. But if you want to get those Marvel Legends, I can't fault you for that once again. You get what you pay for. Toe articulation, the knee joints, comes with stands. I wish Marvel Legends would actually give us more stands. But then you're looking at, like Todd McFarlane, a $29.99 price point. Like that deluxe MCU white suited Black Widow from the film. Like that's what you're looking at if you throw in all this stuff. But then you get to do stuff like this. And I don't know if you can do that with the Marvel Legends. I don't know if those figures are good enough for that. So when it comes to Spider-Verse, depending on your fandom, go premium or go retail. Marvel Legends, they got you covered. Once again, the prices don't lie. The prices don't lie. Being an import collector, being an SHF collector, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I've already made the commitment to it. Those Marvel Legends, those Marvel Legends are looking sweeter and sweeter against that price tag. But like I said, I love it. I love the stuff, so I can't really fault that too much. Let's go ahead and keep things moving a bit. So we have Spider-Man 2099. Once again, this is the second release of that. This has a darker template. Some people like the brighter template. It just all depends. Sabir del Norte says, SHF, I have the Eternals figures by them, nicely done. I wish they had made the heads on them to work with Hasbro, though I had plans and they said nope. Man, it is what it is, man. Some of the Eternal stuff had some really cool designs. They oversaturated with the Marvel Legends too early. They became a laughing stock, and they lasted for years. They hit the shelves a year early, and man, you can still find Eternals Marvel Legends if you still look online. But anyway, let's take a closer look at this Miguel Spider-Man 2099. Good posing here. The lack of butterfly joints is killing me. I was like, I need butterfly joints on these Spider-Man figures. This is Spider-Man. They need butterfly joints. They need articulation. They got poses to strike. Here's a side-by-side of the new wave 2 of Across the Spider-Verse, and wave 1 that came with that cape that you could not take off and get rid of. I don't know why they didn't make it detachable. So you have the color swap here. And once again, kudos to the Legends team for including masked heads and unmasked heads on both of these. Give us options. We are paying for it. So here's a closer look at the Wave 1 2099. You got an extra pair of hands. I just feel like you need to get more. You can get some good poses in with that 2099. You got the ab crunch. It's atmospheric. For $24.99, this is a good figure. The only thing is, like when you were talking about the difference between Hasbro and import, I think you get what you pay for. The Spider-Man 2099 SHF, just look at the difference. Look at the texture on this thing. Look at the detail. Everything from the butterfly joints to the hyper articulation. This sucker, hold on a second. The SHF 2099 has articulated butt cheeks. You can actually move the glutes up and down like Chippendales. It's crazy. It's like, why did you do this? Why is this here? Anyway, the only thing about this SHF Spider-Man 2099 is that it is sold out. So if you didn't get this, you had to go to the merchants overseas, and hopefully you can luck out. Like right now, let's go ahead and do a share screen real quick. All right, so here we have SHF. This one went for 100. Let's go back. And once again, the knockoffs. I think the knockoffs are what you're going to have to do. And I would say these knockoffs are better than what you would find with Hasbro. Yeah, $90. Woo! 185. Man, you got to make sure, like, you see that Tamashii decal right there and Bandai Namco, that's what you want to look for. Some people, they'll even buy it in the box because if you don't want the knockoff, you got to go for it. 230, good grief, man. I think you're better off with the knockoff, frankly. It'll probably be a better buy. And yeah, you can still get the original Marvel Legends for $25. but it should have came with that unmasked head sculpt, all that stuff. The Hollow Assistant comes with Gwen. Why didn't it come with 2099? Don't get me started. And I don't really have time to talk about that Spider-Gwen right now, but it is what it is. Anyway, back to SHF. You can just do more with these figures. The texture, the detail, it looks amazing. Sabir agrees. It's like his Icarus became his Falcon. Very smart, very smart. I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, you shouldn't have to cough up $230 on eBay to get this. I need more reissues. MoffX does reissues all the time. So will SH Figure Arts from time to time. Well, especially like with the MCU, Avengers Endgame, that kind of stuff. 5 years later, blah, blah, blah. Great cape here, and it's detachable, right? So I don't know why Hasbro, they do the things they do. But there's a big difference between this SHF and this Marvel Legends. But, I mean, once again, $25. I can't fault anyone for not going premium. I just feel like if you are a fan of the film of Spider-Verse, go all out and get the very best. There's no reason that these Marvel Legends can't come with butterfly joints, more than one extra pair of hands, an unmasked sculpt for Spider-Punk, for 2099, for Miles Morales, for Peter Parker. Don't skip on this stuff. At $24.99, you can put more value into it. I mean, if you want, like, for example, here's the Doc Ock. This Doc Ock went on sale, $27 on Amazon. But if you wanted to just do a $29.99, right? But we have the heads, we had the head sculpts and whatnot. That stuff will sell. It will sell. Give us the value. It will sell. I promise you. Like, don't do these shortcuts thing, or they're going to end up at Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Burlington Coat Factory. Shout out to Ollie's. Shout out to Five Below. Just give us what we want. Give us the true value. We will spend the money. I promise you, we will spend that. All right, let's go ahead and keep things moving. The title character, Man of the Hour, Miles Morales. I have words on this figure. I do not like either of these figures. I will give the first wave from last year a pass because I feel like even that head sculpt is better than what we're dealing with now from Hasbro or Mezco. I hear that the Mezco Miles Morales changed its head sculpt. So good for them. Like, that needed to happen. We'll see what happens once it goes live. But anyway, once again, here's a side-by-side from the head sculpt last year. Much more animated, more spunk. I think the one on the left, which is the new one, he looks young and he looks scared. Like, doesn't he look scared? Like he's like lacking confidence or something, right? Neither of these have butterfly joints. Drives me nuts. Butterfly joint. Yes, ab crunch. Yes, extra pair of hand sculpts. And yeah, Ronnie Trickshot is right. Yeah, we like give my dude a protein shake, you know. Jason Ness says, especially since it's a BF. Yes. Like, you're saving money on the plastic. Just go ahead, give us the heads, give us the hands. Throw in Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Throw in the figure stand. Give us the figure stands. It doesn't cost much. If a 3-pack of figure stands costs $15 on Hasbro Pulse, then throw in that figure stand for $5. $29.99. People don't like, you may not like me telling Hasbro to raise the price on these, but I'm trying to get you to do more with your figures. So let me go ahead. And once again, I'll go ahead and share screen. Here are the figures from Hasbro Pulse. $14.99. Oh, sold out. Okay, well, bring it back. Bring it back. $5. That was $5 a stand. Bring it back. Bring that back. If it's sold out, why do you still have the... Never mind. Anyway. Back to this Miles Morales. I think this is for everyone that wasn't able to get the Miles Morales from last year. Probably sold out. Probably going sky high. But yeah, you can still do some pretty cool posing with this. You can still get it what you need it to do. Once again, $24.99. I just feel like the shortcuts drive me insane. And I think if you really like the movie, and you really were a fan of the movie, then you probably would do better. Just go ahead and get premium. So let's take another look over at our iron merchants at eBay. So that's not too bad. Like I'm seeing, I don't know why this stuff's going for $40. It's like just go to Pulse, go online, try your luck, go to GameStop. Like that's not cool. That's not cool. But you can still get that Wave 1 Miles Morales for about $25 plus shipping. That's not too bad. $30 plus shipping. That's not too bad. It was going even higher when that movie was out. So last year I was seeing 50, $70, $75. No lie. So it's calmed down a bit. And it needs to. I don't know why it jumps up like that. Like that's money that Hasbro could be getting. So I don't know. They won't listen to me. They don't like me too much. I think once again, SHF has them beat. Same thing with MothX, same thing with Sentinel. I think you go premium, you get your money's worth. I'm gonna try that knockoff. That knockoff's gonna be about $30, $40. I'm gonna try to get one anyway. But just the expressiveness. Like you can look at the different head sculpts and the different eye plates and everything else. So just with the articulation, adding those butterfly joints, adding superior joints and movement. If you're a fan of the movie, just go ahead and go premium. Here's Miles G. Morales, or the Prowler. And once again, we're seeing the unmasked head sculpts. That's going to be a standard with this wave. So I have to say, I'm really glad that Hasbro did this. Damn near every figure has a masked sculpt and an unmasked sculpt. That is a big improvement from last year. We're spending money on these figures. Give us what we want. I don't know why that Hollow Assistant is with Spider-Gwen, maybe because it's less plastic and they're doing it like by weight or something like that. I don't know. Or they need to incentivize having the second Spider-Gwen. I guess so. Yeah. Poc Photo says, what's crazy is this Miles figure is reusing the torso and head sculpt from the first movie figure. Oh yeah, that's right. They did like a separate first movie figure from way back. And yeah, that was weird. Solid figures, though, I also agree. Yeah, but I'm glad that they did the figure from movie 2. It's a lot better. Just had to wet my whistle for a second. Let's go back to Prowler. So we have this figure here. Comes with the head sculpt, comes with the gloved hands, comes with a book bag. And there's a lot you can do with it. You know, like the posing is there, the joints are there. You can do very well with this whole wave. Like I said, it is a strong wave for Marvel Legends. If you're not going to go premium, SHF, MothX, and so on, then Marvel Legends got you covered if you can stick to that $24.99 price and not worry about the games that eBay and everyone else are playing. You should be able to get what you want at an equitable price. So, kudos once again to the Marvel team, the Marvel Legends team over at Hasbro. This is a strong wave. I mean, I am the guy that say I would rather have an SHF figure than 3 of these or 4 of these figures. Like that's what SHF is for me. But I'm glad for Marvel Legends collectors that they're going to have a new strong wave of figures. I will say this. This is Good Toys, 1/12 scale, the Rambler. And you can already see the difference. Soft goods. For me, that sculpt of Miles G. Morales is better than the Mezco sculpt. Was so disappointed in that first Mezco sculpt. I really hope the new sculpt that they're doing will turn things around a bit. But let's take a look at this figure. We already got effects. We got a soft goods hoodie. We got the backpacks. We got the mask. We're going to get more hands and whatnot. The pose is fantastic. So if you're getting the Mezco Spider-Man, you can get this to go along with it. And this will go good with MothX, Sentinel, that kind of thing. So we're already seeing the value here. Like I don't know why Hasbro doesn't really play more with soft goods. Maybe it'll just put them out of business. Maybe they just don't want to spend the money like that. That's fine. But for me, I'm doing SHF, I'm doing MothX, and this is my Prowler. This is my Prowler figure right here. Like, I am going to get this. Toys Metaverse still has this. 5K Toys had this for a second. I think it sold out from there. Wherever I got to get this from, I'm going to get it because I think that this is just superior. I'm not going to spend my money on the Hasbro figures. I personally am going to get this and everything else. This was the Moffex Spider-Man I was telling you about. Soft goods jacket, soft goods sweatpants, and still a fantastic figure to boot. You have different head sculpts, partial mask, unmasked, different eye expressions. I don't know why Marvel Legends won't do this. We got the web effects. You have different hands, different props, and whatnot. So yeah, Moffex is not going to be cheap. Neither is Sentinel. So Sentinel comes with both a Peter B. Parker sculpt and the Chris Pine Peter Parker sculpt from the first movie. And man, they really like that Spider-Man with his coffee mug. Both Moffex and Sentinel have that prop. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess people like their coffee. And it's just a fun prop to have for your Spider-Man. I think people are just so used to getting Marvel Legends that they don't realize what they're missing out on when they don't do premium. But you got to move quick when it comes to premium, because if you don't, then stuff goes sky high. So here's the Moffex, and it's going for $174. Some people lucked out with bidding at $85, $90 plus shipping, $182. It's kind of all over the place. So if you didn't get this thing when you could have gotten it from Hobby Genki or Nin Nin Game or Plaza Japan, then it's just going to be sky high. There's a reason people are willing to pay $180 for that Moffex. It's because it's a complete suite. It's because you're getting different head sculpts, hands, accessories, soft goods, stands, the webbing, butterfly joints, the articulation. It's a complete suite. So you don't have to buy 2 or 3 figures to get the look that you would need to get from Marvel Legends. I believe that first Peter B. Parker action figure was just that hoodie sweatpants look. So even if you wanted it to look more like Spider-Man, you couldn't, because you would have to buy a second Peter B. Parker action figure, or that Chris Pine action figure that's in the new wave from Marvel Legends now. So they're talking about 2, 3, 4 figures, or we're just talking about just this one. So once again, there's nothing stopping Hasbro from giving us more value. Give us stands, give us heads, give us hands, right? We paid for that Doc Ock $40 at the start, and then it went down in price. But if you just massage that price point a little bit, people will get the figures. And then you can recreate moments. We love these movies. We buy these figures so we can do stuff like this, right? We buy these figures so that we can have big damn hero moments like this. That's why we do this. That's why we want this stuff. And if you do not give us that, shout out to Blitz, who's buying a digital round for everybody. You don't give us that, and if you cheap out, then we're not going to buy these figs, because this stuff is incredible. Once again, this is from Moffex. Moffex has a great Miles Morales as well. Sentinel has a great Miles Morales with soft goods that you can take on for the What's Up Danger recreations. And it's just, there's no comparison. But let's go ahead and compare anyway, right? Once again, that coffee mug prompt, they really love that stuff. Really strong figure, really great work you can do with this stuff. You can recreate a lot of stuff. Now, the Marvel Legends Peter Parker, the Chris Pine Peter Parker, that's no slouch either. It really isn't. It's a great figure. For the life of me, I don't know why they won't give us butterfly joints. What's up with that, man? Nico Trana says, Hasbro might not have Marvel and Star Wars soon. I believe it. Belts are tightening, and I feel like I want to see what Mattel could do. I want to see what McFarlane can do. Hasbro, they might have put themselves out of business by playing games. Maybe the figures were just too low. Maybe these figures shouldn't cost $19.99. Maybe they shouldn't cost $24.99. But it was the old college try. We have a good diaphragm joint there, even though we don't have the butterfly joints on that Marvel Legends. And that head sculpt isn't as expressive as the Sentinel one. I like the texturing. I like the line paneling that's going on with the Sentinel figure. But this one will still do you right. $24.99. Can't front on that. So if you're a fan of Marvel Legends, you're collecting Spider-Verse, have fun with that wave. It's a good wave. It's a strong wave. No regrets, no remorse. Go ahead and go for it. You can still get those poses. I still want to do more and get more, but there's a difference. There's a difference between what's going on with this Marvel Legends and then what's going on with Sentinel and whatnot. Different hands. We have ungloved hands. I mean, why not? I don't know why we can't just get more stuff with this. If you're willing to spend more, and if it helps the line last longer, right? So if we're all going to shortcut ourselves out of this hobby, that would suck. That would really suck. But there's always other things to do. Not to say like outside of action figure collecting, but like other places to go to get premium figures or something else. Maybe it's not really about keeping Marvel Legends going. Maybe a toy line can only last so long. I think about this with G.I. Joe Classified series. Like, are people going to be chasing down Scoop and Salvo and Overlord and Overkill the same way they are Wreckage and Tiger Paw and Once a Man Cobra Commander? Just depends. It's like this stuff only lasts so long. So I always say, enjoy it while it lasts. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude is everything. Because without gratitude, that is what allows cynicism and negativity to take hold. And so we're not really celebrating these figures. We're just complaining about them. And even though the $24.99 price point Marvel Legends aren't for me, even though I am the weirdo that would rather spend $90 a figure for Spider-Verse just because that's how much I love the movie, well, that's how much I love the movie. But I'm not going to, yuck other people's yums. Go ahead and get that Marvel Legends and have a blast. Son of a Crayon Slayer. I love the name. Hey, now, thanks for joining. Welcome to Black Genghis Live. Listen, I got to take a short break. But first, let me go ahead and do a quick commercial message. So don't leave. I'll be all right. That was the Batman Forever Batmobile from McFarlane Toys, and that brings us to our next segment. I have words about this. People always want to get the green light. I don't think this is the green light that they meant. So this is Alfred Pennyworth, great Michael Gal sculpt. He was fantastic as Alfred. And this is the Batman Forever Batmobile that's green as hell. I don't like this, man. I do not like this. I think McFarlane's playing games because it's not really about the fact that we have this Alfred Pennyworth and this Batmobile. It's that if you're that big of a fan, you're going to buy this Batmobile, and if you want to get a different Batman Forever Batmobile, well, you'll buy that one too. It's a way to get us to buy both. And if you want this Alfred as well, then you're going to have to get it. There is another Batman Forever Batmobile that glows in the dark. So that one is going to be different. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Here it is. So this is the glow in the dark edition. And this one doesn't really have it may have the lights, it may not, but it does glow. The life of me, I do not understand why this sucker is green. I don't get that, man. This is a cool Batman Forever Batmobile. It's awesome. It's almost there. It is maddening. It is angry. It's also a single fin that doesn't split up like the movie does. So that one actually folds out like a V. So Ramen Toys, he has a great CAG set, Canopy and Gun set, because they had to fix that Flash Batmobile 1989 Batmobile because the dimensions of the canopy was off and the silhouette was kind of messed up. And people bought it because we love the Batmobile. Just get it right. And there's always these little things that he just messes up on. So the Amazon exclusive is $79.99, and this other Batmobile is $110. I don't know why this sucker is green. It's infuriating. It really is. Jason S says because McFarlane. Internally Jokerized? Maybe. It may be Riddlerized. Poc Photo says, I don't really care for this version of the Batmobile, but I do want that Alfred figure. A lot of people do. I may end up getting that and just flipping that Batmobile. I don't want a green Batmobile. Was that the same as the movie The Green? So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and go right into it. So Batman Forever, I love that movie. I compare it to A Kiss from a Rose from the Grave. Just kidding. But that Batmobile, I liked it. Now, this is the green McFarlane Batmobile still. Once again, I think he wants people to buy this, and then he's going to come up with a blue light Batmobile and make us buy two. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate the games being played. So, once again, this is how the Batman Forever Batmobile is supposed to look, with the blue lights, the blue lighting. That's what made it cool. It glowed blue. I don't know where the fuck this green shit's coming from. Pardon my language. But that's the Batman Forever Batmobile right there. Look how great that looks. Look how great that looks compared to this. Hold on a second. That compared to that. Like, I don't know where this came from. Yes, you can put the Val Kilmer Batmobile in it and it's glowing green. But I would rather have this than this. Like, it's an easy fix and it's maddening because the long and short of it is he wants us to double dip. Like, he's creating a double dip so that we have no choice but to buy this other, whatever is coming next for the Batmobile, we'll have to buy that one too. So it's not really about getting it right or getting it accurate if people will buy it anyway. It's a color gel, whether it's coloring the plastic or whether it's coloring the LED lights. So making it green instead of blue is a choice. And it's a choice he made on purpose. Shout out to Tony's Face. He says, yes, blue, baby. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. I don't get it. I don't get it. It was almost there. It was almost right there. It wouldn't have taken much to just make it blue. Just make it blue, man. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. If you were to go online, we're looking at $95. I'm a pro member, so I save like 5% off. I'm gonna let that go next time. I'm not really doing anything with that membership, but it's $100 depending on where you go. Let's see what Best Buy has it. Best Buy has it for, once again, 100. I don't know where I saw 110 from. Maybe it was, nope. Even McFarlane has it for $99.99. So I know there's a standalone Lucius Fox. We should be able to get a standalone Alfred Pennyworth. That's criminal to hide that figure with this friggin' Riddlerized green Batman Forever Batmobile. Shout out to MTS10. Use MTS10. Save 10% if you're on McFarlane's Toy Store. Anyway, point is, this is what we want. That's what it's supposed to look like. No reason you can't have this one instead. With the blue lighting, looks fantastic. And with that fin that splits apart. Like, if McFarlane's going to play games like this, I don't have to get this. A lot of us don't. I don't necessarily have $100 lying around. I don't necessarily have the space for 1989 Batmobile, Dark Knight Nolan Tumblr Batmobile, and this Batman Forever Batmobile. That's not even including the animated series Batmobile, and that's not even including whatever the Batman and Robin Batmobile is going to be. I'm running out of space. I don't have the space for this. So it's like, it's great to have these big vehicles. It's great that people are buying them again. Shout out to G.I. Joe. Shout out to the Vamp. Shout out to the Stinger. I can't wait to gridiron the hell out of my Stinger with the freaking tires. I might as well make a rap song about what I'm going to do to that Stinger. I'm going to have the cannons and the gear. It's going to be beautiful. But I can't get everything. I can't get this Batmobile. I can't get this stuff, especially if it's going to be off. If it's not going to be what I want, what I think I deserve, right? Here's the Bat Cycle, the animated series Bat Cycle. It would be great to get the Batmobile to go along with it. It's one like that. I can even get it at a Target. And I don't necessarily have the space. So why would I say like, well, it's not exactly blue, but you know, it's better than nothing? No, I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather have nothing. I don't need it. I did not stop that dude from making a screen accurate blue Batmobile from Batman Forever. So yeah, sometimes it's just those little things, right? Crayon Slayer says, "Hell no, I just swapped the LEDs out." Nico Tronis says, "Get a 3D printer, you can have anything you want vehicle wise." True that. I need to make friends because I want that Skyhawk and I want that Fang and I want it now. But you know, I think McFarlane is still doing a good job of pricing. If you can get this Batmobile for $100, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if it comes with a great Alfred Pennyworth. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just whining and moaning. Maybe I should just be glad that we have this Batmobile, and that's fine. You know, maybe that's all it needs to be. Maybe it doesn't matter that this thing is glowing blue because people will buy it anyway, right? What do I know? I'm just a humongous Batman fan who wants what he wants. And now I don't get to have a Batman Forever Batmobile because McFarlane is just playing games. So, the movie still gets a lot of love. This is still a cool Batmobile. If you're a 90s kid, and I'm a 90s kid, I'm a 90s teen. I'm an 80s kid, 90s teen. But if you were there in the 90s, this was your Batmobile too. You know, and it was dope. It was a dope time. Shout out to Val Kilmer. You know, I hope he's well and just, you know, taking time, recuperating, and having, you know, just being at peace. But he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like, it was awesome. This is an awesome movie. Does not get enough credit, does not get the love that it deserves because it's not Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, right? But it was campy, it was gaudy, it was audacious, slamming soundtrack, man. A lot of people, their first Wu-Tang song was Method Man the Riddler, crosswords puzzling your depth, questioning your own mental health. Don't get me started. Shout out to U2, shout out to 𝐁𝐥𝐸, shout out to Brandy, shout out to Seal, Kiss from a Rose from the Grave. It was just an excellent movie. It was a fun time. You had Tommy Lee Jones doing a Joker impression and Jim Carrey doing a Joker impression. But you had to have been there. So when we don't get what we want and we end up getting shortcuts instead with just little things that are off and hoping against hope that McFarlane just mysteriously gets it right. I mean, he could have gotten it right the first time. Why didn't he? Because he wants us to buy 2 Batman Forever Batmobiles. That's why. The games. I don't have time for the games, man. I really don't. So anyway, if you're a fan of Batman Forever, and I think you are, especially if you're watching this show, then I'd say go ahead. $100, you get this, and you get Alfred to go for the rest of your multiverse collection. Go for it. Go nuts. Nico Trona says, just finished printing the Cobra Claws. Nice. Whooshing around all my house. That's what's up. G.I. Joe, bro, what's up, man? Yes, Batman Forever. But we've been wanting Batman Forever stuff for a long time. Whether it's the model kits, whether it's ornaments, die cast. It's like, but at least all of those got it right. They didn't mess it up. So why is McFarlane messing it up? Why is McFarlane making little tweaks and whatnot? It's simple. It's iconic. It's all right there. There's a color palette at work. In violating that palette, he's betting that we're gonna fork over the money to satisfy our OCD. Instead of not realizing that I may just stop fucking with him in the first place because I don't have time for it. I wanted a Batman Forever Batmobile, and even though this is close, this is not it. Like that's how finely detailed we got. That's the ethos behind Terror Drome. Terror Drome was all about taking figures that were almost there and getting the accessories or getting the web gear, getting the head sculpts, getting the things that we needed to perfect it. Like once again, here's one of my favorites, Airborne, but it wasn't quite there, right? I had to go to Gridiron, shout out to Gridiron Props, Gridiron Studios, to get this M14 rifle with the bayonet. Like Airborne isn't Airborne without his signature accessory. He needs it, right? Hasbro can't do it. I don't know why, but that's the spirit of Terror Drome, and that's why we do what we do, right? I do what I do so that if I want my John Wick Chapter 4 with Dragon's Breath, I can have that. Tee hee 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 hee. More on that later. Anyway, let's take it back to Batman Forever. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was right there. We want what we want. We'll pay for it, but it's clearly it's a blue glow. I do not know where this green stuff is coming from. Shout out to Trick Shot. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And Tony knows 100% for real, right? So before we get to Alien Romulus, how many people? I just want to see in the chat if anyone plans on getting that McFarlane Batman Forever Batmobile. You may not collect McFarlane, you may not be collecting DC, you may be Marvel fans instead. But if you're planning on still getting it, let me know in the chat. I love Aliens. I watched Aliens when I was way too young for it. I think I was 6 the first time I saw Aliens, and it left an impact. That was like the first time I was confronted with the concept that there are things worse than death. There was that poor woman who was cocooned by the aliens. She sees the colonial marines and she's like, kill me now. I'm like, goodness, why would you say that? And then boom, you see this chest burster starts erupting out of her. I didn't see Alien first. I saw Aliens. So my first chest burster was like watching that in the movie and like Ripley's Nightmare and all that stuff. And then shit just goes down. And yeah, so to this day, Aliens is one of my favorite movies. They come at night, mostly. Game over, man. It's so quotable, right? You have Vasquez and Gorman going out like, geez, man, if I gotta go, bitch, you gotta go too. That's what I'm talking about, man. So I'm looking forward to watching Alien Romulus. And we're gonna break this all down. We're gonna talk about what's scarier. And the chat is saying that they're not gonna get it. Sabir's not getting it. Nico Tronis has got the 89 Batmobile. I'm not getting Batman Forever. All right, so be it. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Alien Romulus. Now, what's scarier, the Facehugger or the Xenomorph, right? Now, if we're going to talk about the Facehuggers, the thing that you have to understand about what the Alien movie is, what it's about fear. It's about what you're afraid of, right? And when it comes to men, we're typically afraid of losing power, having power robbed from us, having people take something from us. So the thing about aliens is that when you have these facehuggers and these ovipositors, these, for lack of a better word, phalluses, these alien phalluses, what Alien is about interspecies alien rape. It's about oral rape. It's frightening. It's on a subconscious level. And I don't want to scare y'all away and lose viewers, but that's what Alien is. It's like, and there's a subtext of it where if it's not men dealing with it, but it's women who are actually victims of rape across the globe, then there's something about it that's even worse and it's even sadder. So you have this facehugger that violates you to death, basically. There are a few things scarier than that. Sabir says, I saw Romulus today. Very pleased with Fede Alvarez's finished product in this film. Definitely check it out if you're into alien lore. I can't wait to see it. Shout out to Alvarez from Uruguay. Excellent director. Don't Breathe, the Evil Dead remake. You're going to see some really cool stuff. So I think with the Xenomorph, if the Xenomorph is coming from you, if he's coming for you, it's going to be quick. It's going to be boom to the head. That's it. You're not going to be like smothered to death by this face hugger that's violating your throat and then implanting you with an embryo that's going to be an excruciatingly painful death that you have to suffer through. Like, I'd rather just holler at the Xenomorph. Hey, what's up? Here I am. Come get me. Make it quick. Boom. Lights out. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to grow this fucking death baby that's going to erupt out of my chest. That's so fucked up. The atmosphere is incredible. Dude shot it like it was back in the 80s. Like it's 1982. It's set in between Alien and Aliens for a reason because he's really harkening back really to the original Ridley Scott film. Ridley Scott is producer, and even Ridley gave it the thumbs up, which he doesn't always do. He didn't get the thumbs up to Blade Runner 2049. That says a lot, man. But there's some really cool stuff, and it's going to have some of the flavor from Aliens as well as Alien. They had fucking real face huggers. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at that. Hold on a second. So
that's where he is. It really jumped. I'm confused.
That was an RC animatronic face hugger. If you break that sucker out for Halloween, I'm just running. I'm just running out the door. I'm not going to go to your party. I'm not going to associate with you. I do not mess with that. I do not play. Jason, no, exactly. Ooh, okay. No spoilers. No spoilers. I'm going to go see it, man. Like, I'm not fucking with that chest burster, man. Just take me out. I'll be like, picking a fight with a Xenomorph. What's up, man? Man, fuck you. And then that's it. I'm going like, no. I'd rather that. Not that chest buster. I'm not doing that. Yes, Alien Covenant had a brutal scene there too, man. Alien Covenant was okay. From what I hear, Romulus is even better. Frank Cruz says, I'm going to miss tonight's show. Just leaving to go. No, dog. No, it's all good, man. Have fun with Romulus. Catch me on the replay. I think you'll have a great time. Yeah, man. Aliens, I do not play with. Let's go ahead and let's take it back to, I mean, you really want to see something? Here's what they did with the Xenomorph. Check this out. Hell to the no. No, man. Like, I roll up in someone's house. No, Sabir says, all right, man. I'm gonna see Romulus as soon as possible. No spoilers. Man, no, I got face huggers and shit running around and shit. Animatronic aliens, man. Scared the shit out of me. Imagine seeing that at like Halloween Horror Nights at Universal or something like that. Just leave, man. I am leaving. So when it comes to Alien Romulus, I think it's a great cast. Looks fantastic. It was originally shot for Hulu, and I think it just looks so good. They're like, forget it, man. Let's put this in the theaters, right? But those face huggers, there's something sinister about those. You have what's basically a pair of hands and a phallus with a tail that wraps around your neck, chokes you, so it forces you to open your mouth, and then goes in and plants this death baby, and then you're gone for. And then it goes away, crawls away. You think you're fine. You're sitting down. You're eating with your friends. Blah blah blah. Boom. Terrible. It's just terrible, and it's evil. Like, it's like an evil thing. Here's Fede Alvarez with 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐥𝐮𝐝. She was excellent in Civil War. That was a great film as well. from what I can tell, this dude's the truth. This dude's up next, and he's been waiting for this for a long time. He was like, I didn't want to fuck up. From all accounts, he did not. So I can't wait to see this. What Sabir's got to say? He's got. I rock my Nostromo trucker hat today. Okay, man, that's my extended event character. That's dude. This dude's a true blue alien fan. Shout out to you, sir. I salute. But yeah, like I said, this film looks incredible. I can't wait to see it. It's going to scare the shit out of me. I'm going to watch it in the daytime, so I won't have nightmares. I won't be looking behind my back in my own apartment with the lights out. But yeah, if you like Alien, you like Aliens, from what people are saying, this is the third best in the entry. And there have been a lot of entries since Alien versus Predator, Alien Resurrection. I hated Alien 3. For years, I pretended that Alien 3 didn't even exist, you know? So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching this movie. I think it's going to be a great time. Looks excellent. You're going to see some people get taken out in really brutal ways. A horde of facehuggers, you don't want to see that, man. You don't want to see that. That'll be interesting. I think he's earned it. I think it's going to be a good time at the theater. People are going to be screaming their heads off. But yeah, man, a very atmospheric, very strong choices. So we'll see what happens with the film. But the dude's clearly a fan. He gets it. He gets the atmosphere. He gets the vibe. This is going to be, I think, incredible. So I don't know, man. I think people, we need stronger filmmakers. We need filmmakers with stronger voices. You're making a horror movie, go for it. Go for the jugular. And like I said, from taking something that was basically homophobic space rape, and turning it into a much more brutal subtext of these women basically getting violated to death, and then having, you know, the birth metaphor, instead of it being inverted from men to women, it's much more brutal, especially like with things that are going on right now in our world. Like, and they went for it too. All right, man. Like, we'll see it. Like, it's going to be more uncomfortable for me to watch Romulus than Kane in Alien, or even in Aliens, right? Ripley, she was able to survive the facehugger, and she had help, right? So that was a great moment. I don't think these characters are going to get that in Romulus. It's going to be, from what I can tell, heartbreaking. A lot of these are siblings, they're brothers and sisters and whatnot. And when you lose people you love and care about, you know, that's hard to watch. Like, I'm as great as the movie looks, I feel like it's going to be hard to watch, but that's kind of what you want out of horror movies, right? So before we go to our last segment, once again, I just want to remind people out there that we are bringing back Drome with our very first guest, Gun Bunny Customs. That's going to be next Thursday, August 22nd at 5 p.m. And we're going to talk about the ethos. We're going to talk about why we Dremel, why we use milliput, why we airbrush, why we add decals, why we got to get the varnish, matte varnish, satin varnish, gloss varnish, why we use washes and effects and all sorts of different things, right? Because we love these figures so much that we just got to get it right. That's why people bought different canopies for the 89 Batmobile. That's why people are going to pimp out their Batman Forever Batmobile with blue lights. That's why they're going to do all this stuff to their Joes and their Marvel Legends and to DC Multiverse and everything else, adding soft goods, changing the head sculpts, getting it right. That's what Drome is all about. Now, let's go ahead and go with our final segment of the day, and that is how to reboot Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. I am a big Captain Power fan, always enjoyed the toys. To this day, I write to the Captain Power soundtrack because it kind of goes with any action scenario you want it to go with. It is a fantastic show. It was ahead of its time. It was gone too soon, and it did not talk down to kids. It didn't talk down to us. It said, hey, this is a horrible time. This was, the machines have won. This is a post-apocalypse, and this is how you fight back against the apocalypse together. It was an amazing show. The toys were laser tag. The figures looked incredible. I have a deep, deep love for this series for Captain Power. So let's go into it. I feel that the time for a reboot is coming up soon. And if it's not going to be live action, which was very expensive, the same people who produced Masters of the Universe, the motion picture, Landmark Entertainment Group, also made Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future for Mattel. It was supposed to be the next evolution from He-Man. People didn't want to buy He-Man toys anymore. Fine, here's Captain Power, and it was supposed to be aged up with that same group that had aged out from He-Man and Masters of the Universe, but it was too silly for adults and was too dark for kids. So it kind of didn't really have its audience. Like, and it's a shame because the show was incredible. There weren't character shields. Like, people died on the show. It was like, man, like they really went for it. And I think the second season would have been amazing. The only thing I can compare to it is Star Trek The Next Generation. That's how good the writing was. JMS, J. Michael Straczynski, was one of the key writers of Captain Power and went on to Babylon 5. So if you enjoyed Babylon 5, a lot of that DNA was there present in Captain Power and Soldiers of the Future. So that whole future war scenario that you wanted from the first Terminator, Captain Power did it. It made a whole show about its future war. Just really fantastic. And like the kids loved it. Shout out to Tim Dunnigan, who was the first face man on A-Team. If you go back and watch the A-Team pilot, that is Tim Dunnigan who's playing face. That was pretty cool. Yeah, trying a trick shot. I recommend it. If you go on YouTube, you can find episodes. But yeah, it was really ahead of its time. The suits looked goofy, but if you were a kid, they looked awesome, and they shared a lot with the Super Sentai shows at the time at Japan. So this is before Power Rangers made it stateside. So that's really what they were pulling from. They're like, hey, they're doing this in Japan. We could do it too. Shout out to Japan. Japan's always ahead of the game. They've been enjoying Super Sentai and Tokusatsu for decades. And whereas American audiences just found it silly, shout out to Ultraman, shout out to Gridman, aka Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, shout out to all that stuff. I don't know why the Americans couldn't do it. They just need to get their head out of their ass. They ain't better than that. Have some fun, for crying out loud. Anyway, Captain Power. Mattel went all in and they paid the price for it. Mattel lost a lot of money on Captain Power, but I feel like that scenario is still ripe for adaptation. We're seeing that we're going to have a Terminator Zero anime for Netflix. So if you can do that, I think you could also do that for Captain Power as well. I think with something like Terminator Zero, if you can do something like this, there's really no reason that you can either do a comic book or you can do an anime like this, right? So if Terminator can get an anime, so can Captain Power, and I think that's really where you need to do that. Just as long as you can get it back to the public eye, then you can go back and sell toys. You can sell the updated stuff. You can start small with just the jets and just some figurines. I still have my Captain Power stuff. That ain't going nowhere. I have both jets. I have the Energizer for Captain Power. I don't think I had the bad guy stuff for Lord Dread. But I still had the VHS tapes. You can't really do the laser tag stuff with monitors and flat screens anymore. So you only have the jets shoot themselves. Like, that's the only way you can do a laser tag. You're just basically doing it with the gun. But I wish someone would bring this back. Even if you had like a Nerf gun where you had like you could shoot Nerf darts out of the jet. I don't know why they don't do that. Probably because you can't have that for small kids. But we have Nerf, so figure it out. But like I said, there was a lot of love for Captain Power. I just think if they made it to a season 2, or if they found a way just to reuse those sets and those costumes and just really focus on the strength of the writing, the toys would have caught on, the show would have caught on. I mean, Star Trek The Next Generation, yes, they kept costs low, and yes, they had a strong name. Voyage Home was a big success, and that led into more of a higher profile for Next Generation when it premiered in '87. So I don't know. It would have been great to see Captain Power just last a little bit longer. I want the toys back. I want the vehicles back. And you can do that with a really great writing, either by the anime or the comic books, right? Captain Power comic books. So I think we could have like a more adult sensibility to Sentai because that's what they had in Japan. And that's basically what Captain Power was. It was an Americanized Sentai show with their soldiers of the future. But America just wasn't ready. It was too silly for adults, too adult for the kids. And so it was just this thing that unless you were really one of the cool kids or one of the cool adults, you weren't going to be with it. Gun Bunny says it would be awesome if they were in our time again with your TV. Yeah, it would be cool, interactive. And it would be cool if we were able to shoot at the computer monitors. You would need some sort of different modulation, and it wouldn't be standardized like it was for CRTs. With CRTs, it's the same frequency. So you can sell toys that could interact with CRT monitors. It was this specific time that you had to be there for, because I don't think it can work now. But it'd be awesome if it did. Anyway, let me go ahead and go back to this. So, it was the same way of shooting like an action movie, right? Like, but this is like this TV show for kids, and it didn't talk down to it. So it was like on the same level of Doctor Who over at BBC, taking the sci-fi components seriously. People fell in love. They lost friends of theirs, family. You had people lost to cults who got digitized by Lord Dread and his minions. But you see like the same level of craft. Like this is like the stuff they did for RoboCop, for crying out loud. Like Mattel went all in. They're like, hey, if we can make this movie, if we can make this show and launch it, we could really make some serious entertainment. I think studios and companies like Mattel, like Hasbro, they want to make quality entertainment. They want G.I. Joe to be a success. They want Transformers to be a success. And they don't want to not just talk down, they don't want to talk down to kids, but they don't want to talk down to their fans. They don't want to treat them like nerds and geeks. No, this stuff has something to say. That's why we get the Spider-Verse figures. That's why we get NECA aliens and all that stuff. And that's why we got all this stuff. It speaks to us. So I say that you can still do that with anime, with comic books. Take it seriously. If they do G.I. Joe classified, take it seriously. Treat them like characters. Treat them like family who try to keep each other alive, who are willing to fight for one another, who miss each other when people fall in battle, because that's what makes it real. I think the MCU lost sight of that. You can talk about Star Wars, you can talk about any number of universes, but it's hard. Making this stuff is hard. When you make an alien movie, you're going up against some of the greatest films ever made, Alien and Aliens. So making a follow-up and treating it seriously is hard, but do it. Take the craft seriously. It's not just toys. It's not just vehicles. It's not just play sets. It's us building our version of that world because the storytelling speaks to us. Take it serious. Take it serious and do the best you can. You want to make a show? Make your favorite show. You're making a movie? Make your favorite movie. You're writing a song? Write your favorite song. If you're making an action figure, make your favorite action figure. That's the Drome ethos. That's what we do over at 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐜. That's what I'm all about here at Black Genghis. If you're going to do it to the fullest and have fun doing it. That's what it's all about. So I think that with Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, it's ripe. It's ripe for a new beginning. It's ripe for taking that material seriously and giving it the care and affection that it deserves, because it was ahead of its time and it didn't insult us. It didn't insult its audience or people that love science fiction and fantasy. We've been doing this for a long time. There have been geeks and nerds and whatnot in the world for a long time, because even though people want to use derogatory language or they want to laugh at people who read comics, manga, adult collectors who collect action figures and statues and everything else, we do it because we love the art. We do it because we love what it says about the world around us, right? And talking about fighting back against hopelessness, fighting for a better future, fighting for a better tomorrow, right? That's what it's about. That's why Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future still speaks to me. That's why it still lasts as long as it does. And that's why we still give kudos and props to people who make these videos, who make these shows, make these movies. Comic-Con, different conventions, Bab Trek, and so on and so forth. These were the fans that kept Star Trek alive, that kept Star Wars in the public eye before the prequels and everything else. Going to alien movies, getting Dune popcorn buckets and everything else. It's deeper than fandom. So when I see angry fans, that's not a fan to me. When I see people talking trash about what other people love, that's not a fan to me. If there's something I don't like, I don't bother with it, man. Shout out to Twilight. The people, they wanted Twilight, they got it. Good for them. I got my stuff, you got yours. I'm not going to talk trash about it because there's something in it that speaks to you, and I respect that because that's really what it's about. It's about the conversation. We are artists in our own way, whether we are enjoying art in a gallery or you're enjoying some of your favorite action figures as a kid. Like, we love this stuff and we love what it means. So anyway, that's another episode of Black Genghis Live. Be sure to tune in next Thursday on Black Genghis and Tony's Figs for the first episode of season 2 of Welcome to the Terror Drome with our very special guest, Gun Bunny Customs. I cannot wait. It's going to be fantastic. Be sure to mark your calendars. That will be going up soon, so you'll be able to be there for the live stream. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're taking Terror Drome in a totally new direction, and I'm thrilled about it. I can't wait for it. And folks, thank you very much for your time. Once again, have an excellent weekend. Enjoy your Friday and your Saturday and Sunday beyond. Make it a good one. And Trick Shot, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And don't forget to holler at my dude Lawrence on A Punk with Toys, who's probably live right now. It'll be a good one as well. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic time. And until next time, enjoy your figs. And peace.